Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Georgi and today I want to show you full setup of Canon M3 for vlogging. Okay guys, I've been a little bit away. I was really busy with my graphic design work. Everybody after New Year just decide to slowly wake up and start pushing orders, and as usual they want them for yesterday. So you gotta make everybody happy and have to please everyone, and obviously need to keep the bank account healthy. But I decided to take some time off and just do this video because it's been staying on my desk as idea for a long time. I use Canon M3 for all my vloggings and for going out or in the studio, doesn't matter where I shoot. The Canon M3, it's my FStop camera. I do have Canon 60D, which is fantastic for vlogging and it's beautiful, but I usually prefer to keep the Canon 60D for my photo work and just use the Canon M3 for video. But first, let's talk about the camera. Why I choose Canon M3? First of all, because it's mirrorless camera, it's very light, you don't have all the heavy parts with the normal DSLR cameras. Second, it's a very quick and responsive, very good sensor. Okay, it's a small sensor, it's not like a full frame camera, but for vlogging it's fantastic. It's processed the image very fast, it's autofocus very fast, and obviously doesn't have all the options which you can achieve with a bigger camera and more expensive, but still it's enough in this camera to record fantastic video and even short movies. Why not? The third thing is because the camera, even the internal mic, it's not one of the best, still got a really good internal sound. If you run out of battery of your mic, or for any reason you forget your mic, or you just have your camera and you need to record something quick, you still gonna get some quite good quality of sound. And I think this is it. This is the main three reasons which I choose. But then when I set up the camera in the beginning, I start shooting automatic, everything on auto, and I wasn't happy and I was thinking what I'm doing wrong, why it's so bad. It's not that cheap camera, obviously it's not that expensive, but of course it's a Canon and it provides fantastic quality, and I'm like, I'm doing something wrong, definitely. And then I decide to crash everything and just start shooting on manual. And this is when the game changed. At the moment I'm shooting on manual, and that's what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you how to set up your Canon M3 on a manual mode and why you should do that so you can get perfect video. First things first, there's three important things in the camera which you need to consider. This is your ISO, your shutter speed, and your frame per second when you're shooting. Then it's another few settings which we're gonna go after. So the camera can be very easy setup, and when you set up all your manual setting for your videos, forget about, you don't touch them. The only thing you can probably touch, it's your ISO, or maybe change your f-stop. That's all, nothing else. If you set up the frame per second you're shooting, if you set up your sound, your white balance, you can just leave them forever and only adjust few small things. Now I use the Canon M3 in combination with a TAKSTAR microphone. It's a fantastic little microphone and it's cost only $28. Yes, $28, and it's doing fantastic job. Okay, you can go and buy some expensive microphone which is gonna cost you probably over $200–300, but if you're just starting, or if you just want to do vlogging and you're not going to do any commercial work like a video, or you're not going to do any filming, this microphone, it's absolutely fantastic for you to start. It's run on one AA battery, have few small settings on the side, and it's basically fantastic. I will show you the mic after, but before we start with everything, let's just show you my quick setup, and then I'm gonna turn around the camera. I'm gonna switch cameras, so I'm gonna move to my Canon 60D so I can show you the screen of Canon M3, and we can run down through the menu and I show you how to set up your camera to shoot in manual mode. Okay, let's do it. For this I'm gonna get my Canon 60D and I'm just gonna show you a quick the setup. This is my setup, this is my camera. It's between my two monitors because obviously I work on two monitors with the graphic design, it's easier. But yeah, I have the TAKSTAR mic on the top. As you can see, it's quite big mic, but it's really good. Then the Canon M3, the Georgi Gorilla SLR pod with a bow head, adjustable bow head. It's also spinning 360 degree, and it's a quick release. Okay, and when you see on the side, what I prefer when I'm home, I prefer to monitor myself on the actual big monitor. You can do that simply and very easy. You can see there, let me just focus a little bit. That's it. You can see the small HDMI output. It's a HDMI-C going to HDMI normal cable, and it's just you can monitor yourself on your second computer screen, or maybe if you have a little spare TV. I like it because Canon M3, it's flipping on the back, you see, and if you have a mic, you quite can see yourself what you're doing. That's probably one of the bad points for these cameras, which I'm gonna say. It's because the screen, it doesn't flip like it's flip on the, as you can see here, the Canon 60D have fantastic flipping screen on the side, so even if you have the mic on the top, you can still see yourself and what you're doing. When with the Canon M3, this is not really possible, but it's not that bad, because when I'm outside and I put the mic on the top, I can still flip the screen and see myself if I'm still in focus and if the face tracking still obviously focus on my face. So it's not that bad. And also on Amazon there's a small like a brackets, I'll leave a link underneath. You can build a very small rig, which I'm planning to do. I didn't do it yet, but you can build a very small and very cheap, easy to operate video rig. It's like just few brackets. It's gonna cost you probably around $20–30 top, but then you can have your Gorilla pod, you can have your camera, you can have the mic on the side if you want, and you can have your flip screen, and you just go out and enjoy and just do your vlogging or whatever you do. Another thing which I'm using, just to show you quick, is these LED lights for Votrox. Now this light, it cost around, I think, £32, which is probably equivalent of what, $40, I don't know. On the back, as you can see, the lights operate on battery, but have also 12-volt DC power option, so you can always have it plug into power. Nice LCD screen where you can change the percentage, the brightness. Very nice and easy. You can just spin the dial, or you can just push and it's going to increase by 10% every time, or decrease. It's good for just like a field light. If you see, let's say, as you can see, my room here, it's my conservatory, so I have a see-through roof, so I have a lot of daylights, but still giving a little bit more light, and the moment it's on 10%, so if it's more dark, I can just boost the percentage and I can get more lighting. Another thing which I'm using is the friction arm. So if you can see this friction arm, the reason why I'm using it, if I have a tripod with me and I want to use the camera on a tripod, but I want to still see myself on the screen, because probably I may not have external screen which I can plug my HDMI, I just use this friction arm. It's also not very expensive. I'll leave links below, you can see it. With this friction arm, you can put with a small clamp to your tripod, then you can adjust it and you can put your mic on the side. You can buy two of these. I think they cost around $30 for two, something like that. You can have two of them, so on one side you can have your light, on the other side you can have your mic. You can put your Canon M3, flip the screen, and you have proper setup always staying there for you. When you're ready to vlog, just switch on everything and just start vlogging. So yeah, friction arm, guys, you definitely need one of these. No matter what you do, even for outside, you may need it in some situation if you decide to do some small short video, film, movie, whatever it is. Yeah, and I think this is it pretty much. You don't have to monitor yourself on the big screen like I do, but it's a cool idea and it's nice to, you know, I mean, to have a big pictures of you what you're doing. So as you can see, it's very easy to set up everything and just have your own kind of a corner when you do your vlogging. Now let's turn around the camera and let's show you the menu, how to set up. But oh, before I do that, let's just get the mic and show you something. Now it may come a little bit loud, but I'm gonna try to adjust that. Anyway, so this is the TAKSTAR microphone, okay? I don't know if it's gonna focus proper. Let's just, there you go. So this is your TAKSTAR. You have your switch on and on button. You have the plus and 10 decibel if you want to boost the sound, and you have here the last one. It's kind of to reduce noise from any peaks around you. On the back you have this LED light. I'm sorry, but the camera is trying to focus. Yeah, here we go. This LED light, which it's always green when the battery is full. If it's go low on battery, it's gonna turn red. So on the side it's very nice flip out cover when you can put your AA battery. There is a shock mount. Probably it's not the best shock mount, you know what I mean, but it's doing the job. At the moment I have external cable, so I can actually bring it close to me, because the actual original cable, it's not very long. It's good if it's staying on top of the camera, but for example, if you want to shoot from far away, you want your mic to be closer to you, you're gonna have to take some extension. And for $28, guys, I think it's fantastic mic. On the bottom, you got your mounting, and you have 2 points, so you can mount the mic more backwards in the camera, or you can mount the mic more forward. In my case, it's more forward, so I can actually flip the screen on the back. And pretty much this is it about the mic. If you need a mic, I strongly recommend, don't kill yourself with buying something so expensive in the beginning. You can always upgrade later on. For the beginning, you can start. I'm saying TAKSTAR, not because anybody pay me for that or something, it's just because it's happened. I bought TAKSTAR, so I'm using it. But you can use Movo or even Rode mic, some of the more lower versions, or the mini mics, which it's around $40–50, something like that. This one is $28. This one is probably the cheapest out there, and it's quite good. So before we actually go to the final part of this video, when I'm gonna show you the manual setup of your Canon M3 on the back of the screen in the actual menu, have a listen a little bit. A friend of mine who asked me last week to go and just have a little recording so he can decide if he wants to buy the Canon M3 for his music videos, because music videos, he's a guitar player and a singer, and he wants to try doing some stuff on YouTube, but obviously he wants to know what is the best to get started. So listen and you see how good is the quality of this mic. Actually, live recording directly from the speakers, nothing adjusted, nothing else plugged to the camera.
Was upon a different line, we rode our bike to the sky. Lady, running down to the riptide, taking our way to the dark side. I wanna be your lip and red. I love you when you're singing this song. I got lump in my throat, 'cause you're gonna sing the word.
Quite good, isn't it? I know it is. One thing I forgot to say, the mic is completely plastic except the front part. It's a metal, so it's a quite good. And one thing you may gonna need, it's this muff. When you go outside, it's fantastic to put this on the mic so you stop any noise from the wind and any other noises. It's gonna stop everything. Fantastically good for you. Now let's turn the camera around, let's go through the menu, and I'll leave you to do whatever you want with your day. But I'm hoping so far this is helping you to decide on Canon M3, cheap mic, and all the setup which you need to start your vlogging. Okay, we are on the back of the screen. I had to move to my 60D in case to record the Canon M3 menu on the back and just to show you what to do. Okay, so let's start. Image quality. So image quality, as you know, the cameras have two options to shoot when you're taking pictures, and this is a JPEG or RAW format, or you can have them both combined. Yes, when you take pictures it's fantastic, but when you take videos, the RAW format, it doesn't do anything for you. So in the video shooting mode, make sure you switch it off. You just flip your dial on the top and you switch it off. Go back, shooting information display. This is up to you what you want here to have as a display. You can choose these options, that doesn't matter really of your quality of the video. Grid and histogram, all this kind of stuff, it's up to you if you want to have them on your screen when you're shooting video. Okay, this is the two options here in the first one which you can choose. As I said, it's a touch screen, the Canon, so you can actually do it everything on the actual screen, but you can just go with the dials on top or on the back. Now next one, what you have to consider is the autofocus method. So having a vlogging, I will suggest keep it on the face plus tracking. The reason is because when you focus on your face once, the camera is gonna follow you, and everything behind is going to be nice and blurred, depends on what kind of a lens you're using and what is the lowest f-stop. I use on the Canon M3, I'm using the kit lens 15 to 45mm. The lowest f-stop it's a 4, but it's still okay for me when I do the vlogging. When I do on Canon 60D, as at the moment I use 24mm and the lowest f-stop it's 2.8, so on the back it's really nice and blurry if I want to record on the Canon 60D. Don't go on one point, because if you put one point and accidentally you move, or let's say even if you're walking and you're moving with the hand, the camera is going to try to focus on some other objects, or the closest or the clearest one, and it's going to be messy your video, so you're never going to be all the time 100% in focus. Right, let's get back here. Auto focus plus manual focus, I keep this on. It's just giving you options on the actual screen when you're recording if you want to switch off between auto and manual. It's not a big deal if you have it on or off. So next one, a very important, ISO. Now ISO is fantastic if you are shooting in some dark area and you want to have more lights, but you don't want to adjust your shutter speed or your f-stop. You can just boost the ISO. But remember guys, more ISO, like more the number going up, more noise and grain is gonna come to your picture or your video in this case. So I'll suggest don't go over 1250, even 1000, but 1250 it's quite reasonable ISO. Then you're probably gonna have to think about having external light or play with your shutter speed and exposure in this case. In my case, ISO speed is 320 at the moment, but if you for some reason decide to shoot on auto, set up your max ISO to 800. This way the camera is not gonna go over this, and you know you're gonna have a nice and crispy picture. But consider obviously getting a small LED light, something external like the one which I show you, or even smaller, so you have some kind of a lighting source with you and not having this grainy picture if you boost the ISO too much. Okay, you can set it up here max if you for some reason shooting on auto, and that's it, the camera is gonna do the rest for you. Highlight tone priority, that I'm not gonna even go there, you don't need it. Auto lighting optimizer, my suggestion, switch it off. Okay, I like to keep it off and I don't want any correction, because I like to correct the camera myself and change the ISO, shutter speed, f-stop, or add external light source and things like that. So it's up to you guys. More you go, more the camera is gonna get involved in your video, and in post you may end up not having enough option to adjust your video in post-production. Okay, custom white balance. Custom white balance, how it's work, you can take a picture of something bright or, you know, white, like even like a small piece of paper white, and you can adjust your white balance from here to have a custom white balance. But in this case you don't really need it. Picture style, this is very important here for me. It's one of the most important things. Like most of the good pro cameras or video cameras have a log mode. The small cameras, and in this case Canon M3, doesn't have this log mode, so you can make your own. I always keep in a neutral mode, and if you press info on your back here on the camera, it's gonna give you all these options. So sharpness, I always keep the sharpness on 0. Don't do nothing with the sharpness, you can always adjust this in post-production. Contrast, go all the way down to -4. Something you can adjust in the post-production and you can make it look much better than the actual camera trying to make it for you. Saturation, it's up to you guys. I'm keeping it in the good middle, -2, because I don't want to totally desaturate my videos, but I want to bring some colors down, so in the post-production I have more wide option to play with the colors and with the saturation. And the color tone, I just keep it on a 0, because you don't want to go, you know, you can go more on the red tones or more on the yellows. you don't want to touch that. You can adjust this in post-production as well. And the last things, very important, and it's probably the most important, is the movie recording size. Now, Canon M3 offer few options: 29, 30 frames per second, 24, 59, or VGA. That's, we're not gonna even talk about that. So if you want to record slow motion or something, you don't have much option here, because the highest frame per second you can go with 60 frames per second, which is gonna give you some slow motion if you obviously post-production in 24 frames per second, but you can do it anyway. So for the best cinematic and more natural for the viewer eye picture, just keep it always in 24 frames per second. And saying that, it's a very important to know here something, and remember, whatever it's your frame per second, double it in the shutter speed. That's a very important, so you got a nice crispy picture, very natural for the human eye, and you don't have some kind of a blurry elements and autofocus stuff, and it's just very important. So in this case, 24 frames per second, shutter speed is gonna be 50. You can go probably 60, but try to keep it double. So if you go on 60 frames per second, shutter speed is gonna go 120, and then lock this down. Okay, like my camera, it's locked down on 24 frames per second, and if I show you, you can see here down it's on 50 shutter speed, and I'm on the lower f.4 for this lens. ISO you can change very easy. Let me just go back to the menu. Sound recording, that's another important thing. Keep it manual, okay? Don't go auto, because the camera may not give you the best suggestion all the time, and sometimes may pick up noises which is louder than actually your voice, and you don't want that. So keep it on manual and try to be below the 12 here. Like if you press on manual, you can go down to rec level and you can adjust the level here nice and easy. I'm trying to not go over the 12 mark decibel. Start picking over 12, not good, guys. So keep it the maximum touching the 12, or better keep it down, and you're never gonna have any issues with your sound. Wind filter, it's up to you. I leave it on auto and I don't bother, because when you're going outside, I have my like a muff on the top of the mic, so I have enough protection from the mic, but just leave it on auto and you're gonna be fine. And this is it, guys, to be honest. The shutter button during the movie, you don't really need that, except if you decide to shoot movie and you want to make some kind of a captures during the movie. But I don't think so with the vlogging. I don't know, you may decide to do it, but you don't really need it. So before I finish with this video, let me just show you something here. Okay, this is your screen. Now everything is set up. So if you press the info, it's gonna give you the 4 options which you set up of the screen, what to see, like information on the screen. You can have it like that, which I don't recommend. Obviously you're shooting video, so you want to see everything. If you press set, you can change all these things really quick, what you set up already. But I suggest don't touch anything here except your shutter speed, your f-stop and your ISO. That's all you need to touch when you're recording video. Now you can see the shutter speed, you can change it from your top dial. Where is your shutter button? Okay, you can change, and obviously as you can see, when I'm changing, the camera is gonna try to adjust the autofocus on the blind when it's more bright. But remember what I said, we're shooting in 24 frames per second, and I locked mine on 150 shutter speed, and that's it. I never touched that. Don't touch it, you don't have to. If you start with the back dial, if you go left or right, you can change your f-stop to make it darker or brighter, and obviously to adjust the focus area you may want to have touch. It's cancelled the touch screen because obviously it doesn't have nothing to focus on. That's another thing. If you get out of the camera and this focus tracking lose you, it will say touch screen cancel it, but when you come back, the camera is gonna detect automatic and it's gonna focus on your face again. The f-stop, I like to keep it on the lowest possible so I can have nice and blurry background behind me and I have the focus on me actually. All you need to touch here is probably the ISO. If you press, this is the dial button, if you press on the top, it's saying ISO, it's gonna change. You see, it's gonna go from your f-stop, it's gonna make green the ISO, so now you can change it. So let's say I usually shoot on 160, but if I switch off the lights, which I have in the front now, 160 is not bad, but only when you dial up you can go 320, that's fantastic. And I usually go maximum 640, which is bright enough in this case. You can boost more, but when you go over 1250, you're gonna start have grain in the image. Obviously you're gonna have enough lights, but you're gonna have kind of a grain image. So keep it around 320, 160 or 640, depends of the situation you're shooting. And this is it pretty much, guys. That's the whole setup and all settings you need to touch about this camera. Okay guys, this is pretty much everything from me. I hope I cover everything what you need to know about setting up your Canon M3, and I hope this is gonna help you to decide probably buying this camera, or if you have it on the site and you wasn't sure if it's good enough for you to record your vlogs, or even if doing some short movies or family movies, whatever you do. I hope this video kind of explain how to set up your camera, what kind of setups to go for, what setting to use, and what is the best way to take the best quality out possible of this camera when you're doing your vlogging. So if you want any information, or if you're wondering where to buy it, the camera and the microphone and the tripod and the light and the friction arm, I'm gonna leave links below so it's easy for you. Just go click and explore. I'm gonna leave link as well for the small movie brackets which I said to make a small movie rig for you. It's gonna help you. Just go browse around, see, maybe you may decide to use something else, not what I recommend. This is what it's worked for me. It's tested, so it's up to you. If you want to go with that, go with that. If not, doesn't really matter. It's your money, it's your choice. So here we go, this is it. I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope you like it, and I hope you find some good information in it. If you did like the video, please hit the like button. Most important, keep creating, guys. Go enjoy, have fun. And if you like my videos, if you want to keep in touch, if you want to see more and being updated of the new videos coming up about graphic design, photography, equipment, just subscribe. Simple as that. Press the red button, subscribe, and I'll be happy to have you in our small community, and hopefully it's gonna get bigger in time. So have a wonderful day or night or whatever you do, and I'll see you next time.